In this video, I want to talk to you about this concept of soul traps and being tricked by the light. Now, a lot of people, well, maybe not a lot of people, but I've been seeing these topics, these videos popping up like on Facebook. And I guess I've maybe been doing some searching on YouTube as well about this because I think this is really, really concerning. I don't know why, but I think it's like super concerning because we're talking about your soul. I think that's why I find it so important to talk about this. And so there's this concept of soul traps or being tricked by the light, meaning that when you die and you see the tunnel of light, you shouldn't go down the tunnel of light because that's just going to lead you into rebirth, or it's going to lead you to heaven. You're going to spend some time there, and then your soul is going to come back to earth to reincarnate. And they talk about the other thing too that they talk about is, oh, it's not fair. Your soul comes back into a new body, and the memory is wiped. You don't recall anything from the previous life or the lives before, and that's just unfair. That's just unfair that that should happen. You should be able to keep your memory from those previous lives. Well, let me first address that issue, the idea of it being unfair to have your memory wiped. I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't recall a ton of things from my life. And I don't drink alcohol anymore. I haven't touched alcohol in 13 years. And I wasn't really that heavy of a drinker before then, but I would have my moments where I would let it go too much. I'd get drunk, but not anymore, I tell you. So, but I don't know about you, but can you think back to absolutely everything that happened? No, probably not. I don't know if you've got siblings or if you have a mother or a father and you've gotten together with them recently and they come to you and they say, hey, do you remember when you did this? Or do you remember when you did that? I've had experiences like that where I have said, no, I don't remember that at all. I don't recall that at all. I remember one time my sister was talking about some jazz, about something that I did when I was a kid to my younger sister and asking me if I recalled it. And I was like, no, I do not recall that at all. And I'll tell you now, I apologize for that. I'm a better man now than I was then. So my apologies. So I think with life, I don't necessarily know how much we recall of it anyway. I mean, certainly there are memories that stick out, and there are things that we maybe return to as markers, right? But it's not necessary to, I don't know, I don't think it's necessary to remember things, because I think there's a lot of stuff that maybe we're embarrassed about, or the things that we carry with us are things that maybe we're ashamed of or that we're less than proud of. And I think in a way, the memory wipe can be like a real blessing. I think the reality is that for a lot of us, our lives, we've had many, many consecutive lives of just boredom, desperation, unmet goals and desires, and probably a ton of regrets. Things where we said and did things that we couldn't take back. Maybe there were relationships that we were damaged. Maybe there were opportunities that we missed and we didn't take. Maybe there were just things that seemingly happened out of the blue that we didn't like. So why would we want to carry that into the next life? I wonder, honestly, how many people, like right now, like if we could run around to every hospital, hospice, every deathbed, and get a chance to spend maybe 30 minutes to an hour interviewing the person on the deathbed and asking them some really fundamental questions like, hey, what was your biggest regret? What was this? What was that? I don't necessarily know that we would get a lot of positive answers about things that happened in that person's life. And I don't know that we would really want to have them go back and remember that, right? You know, I know people could argue, well, man, if people remembered that, they would perhaps work harder to avoid those things in the next life. But I don't necessarily know that that's the case. Maybe, maybe it's just something that is just a blessing, Maybe it's just a blessing. So I don't really think the memory wipe is unfair. I think it's a blessing. And I think, it does make life harder. And I think people can get back to past life memories. I think people can restore that if they lead a clean life and they're not given too much drink. And I think if they start a meditation practice, that those things will certainly help a great deal. And I think people can get back into those old memories. And the reality is that nothing's ever forgotten. God knows absolutely everything that happened. And the people talk about the Akashic records and stuff like that. God's memory is the store. Those Akashic records are stored there for us in heaven. So let's talk about the tunnel, the white light tunnel. So the way I have come to understand the afterlife is it's a place for rest. It's a place for us to be in our souls and totally and completely free of our body. And we're able to return to our true loved ones, to our true soul group and soul family. And we are completed, so to speak, and we're no longer divided into either masculine or feminine. We're united fully and completely in our full soul. So we feel that joy, that ecstasy from it. And it's awesome, right? There's no need to worry about the body decaying anymore. There's no need to worry about money, about this, that, the other thing. Everything is there. Everything that we've been missing, the separation, the individuation that we experience being inside of a body, it's gone. All that's gone. And our soul returns to heaven, and depending on a combination of our karma and how much we really worked to get back in touch with God and to become one with God, that determines how long we get to stay in heaven before we need to come back here and do more of our soul work. And if people think that that's unfair and that's uncool, sorry, that's the way things are set up. God created everything. He created your soul. He created the body that you inhabit. And, your soul is part of God. It's an individuation of God. Like if you can imagine me with a a funnel coming down, a spiritual funnel coming down into my head and down through my spinal cord. That's my soul. That's the part that can't be wetted, burned, shot, touched, anything. It cannot be damaged. I mean, people talk about soul damage. Yeah, the soul can be ejected from the body, and demons can infest the body at that point. But, and this is a big but, if you're a member of the kingdom of heaven, if you've been baptized, if you've been, I don't know, confessed your sins, repented of your sins, joined God, gotten baptized, you are regenerated and you are free. So you're on the path back to God. And if you accelerate that with the idea of meditation, or with the practice of meditation, you're going to do pretty well for yourself, okay? You're going to speed up that process, that path back to Him. You're going to get back to God quicker, okay? So, so you don't have to worry about reincarnation. I mean, if your true soul, if you know that after life, after death, there is no hell waiting for us in the afterlife, then you don't have anything to worry about. Whether or not it takes you 100 incarnations to find liberation, or 1,000 incarnations to find liberation, you know, what's the hurry? There's no hurry, right? This idea of you got one life to live, you better get it right or else you're going to hell, that's such a stupid philosophy. I mean, it's not stupid if you are within the power elite and you want to create some sort of belief system in everybody else so that they'll serve you and be more docile and manipulated or manipulatable. I don't think that's a word, but you get what I'm saying. More malleable. You would be great. That'd be a great thing to set up for people. Have them believe you got one life to live. You better do everything right or you're going to hell. That's such a fear-based manipulation game, and it's false. I mean, I can assure you, being a father myself, I had never, ever, 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 ever been so upset with my child. My child has never done anything so egregious, so bad, that I would say, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm going to take you and throw you in a pit of fire forever. You're going to have weeping and gnashing of teeth, and it's going to be hell forever. No, I would never do that. So think about our perfectly loving, caring, understanding Heavenly Father. Think of Him, and why would He do that to us? Why? He wouldn't. He wouldn't. I mean, yes, hell does exist, but, you know, take a look around you. Where do you think you are now? You're in hell now. It's not such a bad place if you're doing the spiritual work. So, I think that addresses a lot of it. So, the other thing that I've been hearing, and I really, 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 really do not like this last part whatsoever. I think it's tremendously dangerous, bad advice. And that advice is, oh, hey, when you die and you're being called home and you're looking into the tunnel and you see the light, the tunnel of light, you have the option, turn around and look behind you and you see all of the universe there. And you can go to all of the universe and just be free and just go It's the universe, and you can do whatever you want, and it's wonderful. I think that is the biggest lie and the biggest trick. I think that is how you create errant souls. That's how you create demons. I think that is a huge trick. If you're not going to return home to heaven, go back to God and his angels and return and get the regeneration, work on your life review, work on the things of learning and talking and being with your soul group. What else are you going to do? You're going to go gallivanting across the universe? I think that's the trick. I think if you do that, if your soul turns away, you're turning your back on God. You're turning your back on his system, and you are saying, I don't need it. I'm going to do it on my own. This is my last incarnation. I don't need any of this. Boom, I'm out. You do that, my friend, that's where they get you. I think that is the trick. That's where the demons come and they say, boom, you're one of us now. Welcome. Let's be a demon. Let's be a ghost. Let's be a disincarnated spirit. I think that's the term. That could be off. Let's go roam the earth. Let's look for people to infest. Let's go look for people to harm and hurt and to vex. I think that is the deception. That's the trick. I think these people that are telling you, oh, you know, these archons, these angels, they're fallen angels. They're there to trick you. They want to trick you. They want you to think, that they're good, but they're actually bad, and they don't want to help you. They just want to make you go through that unfair process of reincarnation again and again. Why do we have to come back here? It's not fair. Everything here is imperfect. There's evil psychopaths that run the world, and it's not fun, and it's rainy sometimes, and sometimes you fall down and you skin your knee, and dadgummit, it's not fair. It's not fair at all, and God's a jerk for making us have to go through that. That's just stupid. It's not fair. I'm not doing it. I'm turning my back on I'm not going to be tricked by the light anymore. No. I really think that's a very youthful and egregious opinion to have about God and the system that he set up. If you've got bad karma, a ton of karma, I know it sucks. It's terrible. But guess what? You can work through it. Get yourself a guru. Start practicing some meditation, some yoga. Start doing the yamas and the niyamas, the 10 commandments. Start leading a good, healthy, clean, whole life. Start to clean up your life. Stop hanging around losers and people that want you to be sinners with them. Start praying to God and meditating on him and loving him and learning to develop a really close relationship with God. That's going to speed things up for you a lot, my friend. And listen, I know life can seem really challenging, especially like if you watch the news all the time and you're, I guess, maybe focused on the negativity, because that's what the news does. A lot of the media does that, and even the secondary media and the quote-unquote non-mainstream media, they still look to the mainstream media to find out what they're doing. So in a way, they are still tied into that negativity. If you get too much into that, yeah, it's going to be no fun. But you have to learn to separate yourself from that and pull away from it and get close to God. Know that God is within you. He wants you to succeed. He wants you to find him. He wants to love you and be in your life. He wants you to love him too. So if you start doing that work, You're going to be all right. Your life is going to get better. Things are going to get better. And you're going to experience less fear, less frustration, less heartache, less sorrow. And you're going to get back to God much faster. Okay? So when you die, boom, quick, head back to heaven. Get in the tunnel light, boom, go. Do your stuff. Don't hang around here. You know, once you're dead and gone, you're dead and gone. You don't need to like hang out to see who's going to come to your funeral. If you've had really good relationships with the folks in your life, you'll be able to spend time with them before you leave, and you will be able to make all your last say your last goodbyes, give your last regards to all the important people in your life, and boom, then you're out. Boom, you're gone. Get out of here. Get back to heaven. Work on your soul's ascension. That's what we do. We reincarnate again and again and again and again, because so many of us continue to get confused about what it is that we're doing here. We're not here to have a great family and amass a lot of material things. Sure, those things are okay. That's fine. That's good. It's important to do that in your life, to have a good, wholesome, healthy, balanced life. But the main thing, the main reason why we're here is to realize God. That is the graduation day. That's when, boom, you no longer have to come back here. No, you're done. You have graduated. Your soul is done. Then you don't have to come back here anymore. Then you spend eternity in heaven, unless maybe God has some special assignment. He needs some help. He needs you to come back. Maybe he needs you to come to earth, do some miracles, help some people out. Yes, that's awesome. But to think that, oh, just because it's so hard and I just don't want to do this, that's soul rebellion, okay? That's like the worst thing that you can do, to turn your back on the light. I mean, as a human being, at least you have that excuse of, man, this reality is so real. I forget about God sometimes, like, God, I'm sorry, I forgot about you, this, that, or the other thing. At least if you're in a human body, you can at least rely on that excuse. But as a soul, you realize, oh my gosh, that life was just a game. It was just a play. I was on a stage of life. And I played my part, and now I'm done. Oh my gosh. Let's go back to heaven. Let's get back to my soul family. Let's go back. Let's talk with my spiritual teachers, my spirit guides. Maybe even see God. I don't know. But I think to turn your back on God, that's soul rebellion. That's serious. There's no excuse for that. Do not listen to these people. They are false prophets, and they are misguiding you. You listen to me. You do what I say. Not because I'm some like super dude or anything. I've studied this stuff. I've meditated a lot. I've done the spiritual study, and I sincerely think what I'm telling you is right. I'll leave some descriptions in the show notes about some cool books that you can check out. Definitely I like Paramahansa Yogananda's works. I mean, he's my guru, and he's great. His autobiography of Yogi, I think, is really solid. Also, I really like Michael Newton's book, Journey of Souls. Also, I think his second book, Destiny of Souls. And then I think there's another one, Life Between Lives. Those are all really important books. And he amassed this amount of data through past life and hypnotic regression. He didn't make this stuff up. He got this from other people that were in deep states of hypnosis that were guiding him through all of this. So this affirms a lot of what other spiritual teachers have already told us, that this life is not all that there is. We're just here for a time to experience and do the things that we need to do to learn, and then we return to heaven. So hopefully you got something out of this video. If you did, please like, subscribe, share. I know it's been a long time since I posted a video. I was going to spend some time on another platform, but it just wasn't working out technically. And honestly, I think God just wants me here on YouTube. So as always, the light in me honors the light in you. Peace, and may God love you. Bye-bye.